I said, hello, do you have the 500 milligram instead of the 750 or whatever the doses were? Well, yeah. I said, could you bring one out, please? Oh, in fact, no, I was carrying it because I always had an emergency thing.
Right,
I'm carrying this drug. I pull out the 500 that's pink and the 750 that's yellow or whichever way it was, and the pharmacist still insists I don't know what I'm talking about.
Oh, my God. Yeah,
I
we just have to be very careful.
16 years ago, and maybe it's gotten better, but we just heard the whole Starbucks thing where they had to bring people for sexual harassment or throwing people out because of their race, and they sitting there not, and they had to.
Oh, yeah. No, some things haven't.
Medication.
Yeah, some things have improved, but still the pharmacists have to be careful, and you have to watch them. And we can't, as a community, as people that are visiting the doctors and going to the pharmacy to get their prescriptions filled, we cannot absolutely just say, okay, the pharmacist made the right. They mixed the right medication. They gave me the right medication. We have to double check because even today, yes, they're still making mistakes because they're back there mixing. And I have a friend who's a pharmacist, one of my really good friends, and she's a pharmacist, and she told me that their job as a pharmacist, they're on their feet. They are required to work a 12-hour shift. And I'm like, are you serious? And she said, yeah, because she has back problems and feet problems and all kinds. And that's that's the requirement to be a pharmacist. So, of course, after standing on your feet for 12 hours and just mixing pills, it's easy to see that they may get confused. So we can't just randomly assume. We can't assume that the pharmacist has correctly put the right medication in that prescription bottle. It's just, we just can't.
Well, I'm part of Kaiser Permanente, and one of the great things they do when they hand me a prescription, they read it off the warning label, the sheets that are attached. They open it up. They make sure I see, is this the right drug? Have we got it correct? Do you have any questions? All right. So that takes about 3 seconds. And, yes, I know if you had 3 seconds here and 10 seconds there, and it adds up. But if it saves lives and it saves lawsuits, so I think every physician and nurse and pharmacist, when they hand over, whether they're just handing the prescription sheet to fill out or they're actually then handing in the drugs in your hand, every single one of those people should do the 3 or 4 question step. Okay, Ms. Dixon, do you know what drug this is? Do you know what it's for? Does it look like this picture or whatever? And 1 or 2 other questions. Boom. And if it means she says no at some point and you have to educate her, then you have to set that up because, again, it saves lives and it's going to reduce lawsuits. So which is more important, that you save time?
That's right. That's more important. Well, I can tell you the pharmacist that my mother gets her medication from, they do not do that. I don't know if we want to drop names, but it's a local, it's part of a grocery chain that has the pharmacist within the grocery store. And, yes, and they come out and you say, I'm here to pick up my medication. You give them your name. They reach back and they pull out a bag. It's totally sealed up. Not only sealed, it's folded, but it's stapled.
Right.
It's stapled, and then they were like, okay, that'll be $10 and such a cent.
Is there anything that you've either had happen to you or family or friends, or maybe it's just something you reported on? Because I'm going to be blunt. You are African American and I'm not. And so we know there are certain health issues that African Americans have even more than, we don't know why, than Caucasians do. So high blood pressure and diabetes and a whole bunch of things you may know. Do you know, we talk about how we have not educated well African Americans and maybe certain others, but especially you guys come up. Do you know of any big mistakes because either the research hasn't been done right or somebody didn't get a right answer or didn't even ask the question? What would you say is your favorite biggest mistake story?
Well, I just, dealing with my mother, she's 90 years old, and she does, as you said, she has just about every last major medical issue that African Americans suffer from, the high blood pressure, the high cholesterol, the diabetes, heart problems, and arthritis, you name it. She's got, and she and my dad. My dad is 87, my mom is 90. So,
and you have the caregiver stuff, right? Okay.
Right. Well, I was a caregiver, yes, up until about 9 months ago. But now my mother's living in a facility where she's in a senior facility where they have medical doctors and nurses there.
Oh, that's great.
I'm still checking on her, quite frequently to make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to do, and that she still has all of her her thinking is still, and she's pretty sharp for 90 years old. So I would have to say basically just this mix-up, I was going to say, with the medication being different, and it doesn't look the same. It may not be the same. Recently, this is what happened recently. I dare not forget that. This is a major thing. But the doctor did the right thing, prescribed the correct medicine, and she was supposed to, they changed it. Originally, she was supposed to take 6.25 milligrams of this particular prescription drug, and the doctor changed it so she didn't have to take 2 of them a day. So she increased it to 12.5 or something. Anyway, she doubled the prescription medication. And so when my mom went to pick up the medication, the pharmacist they insisted that she was supposed to be on the 6.5 and not the 12.5 medication. And we kept telling the pharmacist no, her dietary what she should be eating and not eating.
Matter.
And how,
whichever one is not talking to the other.
Right.
The bottom line is, and then we get back to lay language. Once they talk to each other, they cannot just say, well, your flagrant violation of the humerus therefore means that you must dissipate the,
No.
Hello, whatever.
I know. Wait a minute. Back it up.
Okay. So we could do this forever. This has been a lot of fun. And, yes, Gail Dixon and I, the founder of Partners in Health and Biz, and I have been the co-anchor of Partners in Health and Biz starting this year. I'm the business side. Gail does wellness and health. We answer all sorts of questions that we can answer. We bring in smart people and not all naturopaths. We talk to real doctors. And
we have to. Yeah, we have to talk to real doctors as well.
Know how to talk in lay language, so our listeners, whoever they are, can understand it. Because even when we have brilliant listeners who are lawyers or teachers or whatever, doesn't mean they're going to understand things. I talk the tech side. That's my, as I'm talking to Gail, I'm going to be doing a show on mobile apps and opioid addiction and so forth. So, that's great technology. Doesn't mean anybody will understand it if we don't get it down to plain English. So I've got to get
even the acronyms, Wendy, you mentioned HRT, but some people don't know what HRT, and then there's HPV, and so it's like, okay, if they're just throwing out these acronyms, HPV, that's human papilloma virus, and HRT is
hormone replacement therapy.
Hormone replacement therapy, correct. So that's the other thing. So it's not just the long syllable.
We got an issue with swollen veins and where they don't circulate properly and a clot forms, and one is called DVP, I think, DVT, deep vein thrombosis, and I forget. Then there's the one on the other side for arteries something, and it's exactly the same except one's veins, one's arteries, and you can get totally confused. Anyway, we keep doing this forever.
No.
We didn't get into the acronyms. God, that'll get you screwy.
That's
Try
right.
putting 12
That's right.
in one sentence and see what that does for you. Anyway,
right.
so this is why Gail Dixon and I have fun on Partners in Health and Business. Every Saturday, Gail usually is there at 9 a.m. I am also there at 9 a.m., but by the time you hear this, I may have changed it to the 10 a.m. because I'm not as great as early bird as Gail is.
She's not a morning person, right?
No, not a morning person. And so, but you'll forgive me, my circadian rhythm and all of that. So, just to be clear, my name is Wendy Meyeroff. I am the president of WM Medical Communications in my regular time. That's serving people all across the U.S. and even beyond in business writing and lay language for patients. But, of course, I'm here the first and third Saturdays of the month on Partners in Health and Biz, and you can reach me for the business show at wendykm.pih, like Partners in Health, at gmail.com. And for just regular work, you can reach me at wjmeyeroff, Meyeroff, at gmail.com. And so let my founder, Gail Dixon, tell you how you reach her directly and the show and everything else you need to know. Go ahead, Gail.
Sure. Okay. And I'm Gail Dixon, and my show, I'm with Wendy, Partners in Health and Biz. And you can reach me via email, and my email address is partnersinhealth@verizon.net, partners with an S, in health at verizon.net. You can visit me online on my website, which is www.partnersinhealth.biz. And so that's the way you can find me. And this, on the 23rd, June the 23rd, my show is 21 Days to Wellness. My special guest will be Dr. Emily Grant DiCarlo, and she'll be talking about how you can, she's a naturopath, how you can turn your health around and be healthy in a matter of 21 days. And Wendy, your show this Saturday, do you want to tell the folks about your show coming up?
I'm talking to a great lady named Linda Fisher. She's the vice president of product strategy for a Rockville-based group called Dr. First. It's about e-prescribing and patient medication solutions, and we're especially relating it to the opioid crisis because the right mobile app and the best electronic records, if they're all coordinated, and I've got some great information. By the time you folks hear this, we may have been finished because it's going to be this Saturday, June 16th at 9 a.m. But there will be the recording, and as Gail said and as I've said, you can email us at different places, wendyjm.pih@gmail.com, and you can find the Partners in Health and Biz. Give them the website again, Gail.
Sure. It's partnersinhealth.biz, www.partnersinhealth.biz. And also the radio website is www.pihradio.net. Okay. www.pih, which stands for Partners in Health Radio.net. So you can find us.
Fun.
Oh yeah, we've had a lot of fun. And also, if you like to have a customized commercial created, we can do that. I can make sure that gets done for you as well.
Yeah, on the business side, Gail and I, between us and even separately, we do all sorts of handouts, presentations, case studies, radio stuff, you
That's
name
right.
it. We help small businesses all the way up to Fortune 500 companies. So
that's it. That's
give
right.
me a yell and see if you can be a guest and when, and we'll talk to you and our listeners. We trust again very soon. You take it easy, Gail. Thanks for coming on to my show, and also, folks, listen to me on Gail's show.
That's right. Okay, thank you. Thank you for having me. This has been fun. Enjoyed it, and I look forward to us continuing to have fun and doing business together.
Yeah, it's great. It's that's